My name is DeJ'a Crippen. I graduated in May 2022 as part of the last graduating class at U Sciences before the merge with St. Joseph's. Um, I am currently an outpatient physical therapist working in Tucson, Arizona at Body Central Physical Therapy. I evaluate and I treat patients with various musculoskeletal disorders and injuries. I treat post-ops, general orthopedic population, neuromuscular, geriatrics, and my favorite, vestibular. My path may be considered non-traditional because I decided to get a health behavior science degree as my undergraduate degree, where typically students will go get a bachelor's degree in exercise science prior to applying to PT school. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. You just need to get like all of your prerequisite classes that's required for whatever school you have to go to. And a lot of PT schools do require the same prereqs. But as long as you do that, then it doesn't matter like which path or which way you take to try to pursue a career in physical therapy. Skills needed to be successful at this job. So I'm gonna hit you with some fire. So I'm just gonna throw out a few words or like phrases, but definitely knowledge, communication, the ability to deal with conflict and overcome adversity, teamwork, accountability, productivity, leadership, and compassion. I don't think you need like all of those to be like adequately successful, but to add value to like your company and to the field, like overall, I think they're all important. And I developed some of these skills at St. Joe's or U Sciences, what it used to be, such as how to overcome the adversity, and to be how to adapt. Like when COVID hit, we really had to learn like how to adapt to like difficult situations. And I also really developed some good leadership skills there as well. So shout out to the BIPOC PT Club because I co-founded that and it was really good. But yeah, a lot of things you just won't learn until you get out in the field and you actually start working. As mentioned before too, I think it's important to find like groups, so like BIPOC PT Club, just that are specifically geared towards like careers that you're interested in. For pre-PT students, there are some specific groups to join, such as like pre-PT Grind, and they offer students help and guidance. I also have a group called DPT Thrive Guide, and it specifically offers like application help, interview help, mentorship, tips on how to be successful, and so forth. But you can also network and volunteer and then shadow so that you can get experience and just learn about how to prepare to like going into PT school. And when it comes to networking, it's very important to do your research on the people and the company that you want to engage with because impression is everything. So you have to really come prepared. You have to look the part when it's necessary and be professional. Networking events are usually in like professional settings, but you can use like any opportunity to network, honestly. Your professors, so while you're in school or undergrad or whatever the case may be, professors are good resources. They bring like a lot of opportunities your way. So if you network with them and you tell them your interests and then you ask them about theirs, then you just never know like which direction they'll point you like into or who to contact. And then like your representation of yourself like on a day-to-day basis too also says a lot about you. So just let it be a good one. Originally, I used to think like I was never supposed to be here. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here in this present moment, like where I am. But that would be wrong because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So I do think, God for getting me this far and giving me that like umph and eagerness to continuously like push myself. But I'm a first generation grad student, or college student, not even like graduate school. Um, but yeah, I was told that I couldn't go to college because like my single mom couldn't afford it. I went away and I did it anyway, and I'm just happy that I did it. And not a lot of people like know that, but I was also even I was waitlisted for U Sciences. So getting into PT school was a little bit like scary and tricky because I didn't think I was going to get into it. And I applied to multiple schools and a lot of them did waitlist me or like reject me. But thankfully here a position opened up and I jumped at the opportunity and I accepted it. And so once, you get in though, and even as a minority, like the pressure is still on. And some people don't really understand like the health disparities that minorities face, like living situations, lack of support, like imposter syndrome, systemic racism, microaggressions that we constantly get thrown at us. But new challenges are going to come even when you graduate and you get a job, and even out in the field I still experience like some of that, but that's why like diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important. To me, like diversity meaning like diverse backgrounds, equity meaning you are identifying like where I am and you're meeting me there, and inclusion is you're actively like making me feel invited or I'm actively like there. And those words to me they mean to acknowledge like the different cultural barriers and circumstances that exist for minorities, and to strive to like address them to ensure that all students, workers, patients, and just people of color in general are treated appropriately, respectfully, and with proper like support and safety that they need. And we're not all the same, and the world doesn't treat us like we're all the same. So you just can't decide to be blind to that, but just participate in the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and do so willingly and actively. It shouldn't be like forced. So I think I have 100% been influenced by diversity, equity, and inclusion or DEI initiatives to be an active part for change, like within my workplace. So my CEO, like she actually knew that, and she knew that I would bring like value to her company because of this. And so I'm now in charge of running the cultural competency presentations for my job. And so outside of work, I do volunteer a lot to be a part of like the DEI like community and to help our field too. But yeah, I think that's why I got hired. For everybody who wants to like pursue a career in physical therapy, the APTA website, so apta.org, is the national website for the American Physical Therapy Association, and that's where you're going to find like all things physical therapy. But also like social media is in, like it's the way to go. So just follow like different PT clubs, PT groups, and there's really like a lot of different ones that can be specific to the one that you want. But whatever school you want to go to, I'm sure they have one. So for us, our Instagram page was SJU_BIPOC PT. And then that's the one that I co-founded. But then the overall like physical therapy club there is just at SJU_DPT. So just keep up with everything that's going on with the PT program that's there. And they're all from student perspectives too. I believe I was told exactly what I needed to be told. So all the negative comments and positive comments, just all of them paved the way for me. This have led me to pave the way for like other people as well. But I'll just say words to encourage somebody else. Just know that like you are capable, you are loved, and keep going.